Now I have a little drink of drinky poo. I know this has got to be vodka. Mm. Okay. I did my thing, but I know there's something we have to do because I've lost track of what I have to do. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know what is all this is. Oh, yeah, of course. What am I thinking of? Why could I even think of it? Of course. But the problem is, we were hurting ourselves all the time. Accidents. Somebody's saying accidents. Janice, accidents. Yeah. Well, it's true. That's why they were terrible accidents there. And because of that, you were wound up with someone upstairs. What floor was the nurse on anyway? Do you remember? The seven? Yeah. Would you tell us about the nurse, my dear? Would you like to tell us about the nurse where we will visit? There you go.
I'd love to tell you about the nurse. We had nurses from 10 in the morning and 10 at night, a few for accidents, which we had quite a lot. So many dancers and crew and tap dancers and everything, but mostly ballet dancers. The blisters and the sore feet and the sore muscles, we were the ones mostly there. But besides that, we had a doctor constantly on call, and we had a terrible accident once, a girl that broke her toe in one of the platforms, and it was a serious one. We had a few, but if you come to think of it, it was not that bad really, because we had so many performances, so many people involved in this wonderful theater, that if you consider that it was not that bad really, is it?
Yeah, the girl lost her toe there. The elevator cut it right off. So it was a lovely thing. Anyway. Yeah, well, someone else has an accident. Oh, Anne.
I had been at the theater for 3 weeks when I caught in the turntable in the track that went around it, I caught the sole of my point shoe in it, and I tore the ligament in my knee and collapsed on the stage. And my fellow performers simply picked me up by my costume, holding each side like this, and we somehow finished the ballet. And there I was at the line like this, and then went afterward. But we also had other funny accidents. They didn't all come from the stage or from the kind of things you would think. Janice loves this story. I think it's dumb, but it's true. We did a Dutch ballet, and the powers that be decided that each of the ballet girls would have a tulip to plant in the stage. And the way to plant the tulip was to have an ice pick at the bottom of the tulip. And you simply picked it up and went. Unfortunately, it went in my hand, and it hit the nerve, and my hand went numb. So after the performance, I was carted off to Roosevelt Hospital, where they sat me down and gave me a big bowl of disinfectant and told me to scrub. But they didn't come back for half an hour. By the time they came back, what I had scrubbed was worse than the initial accident. But the best part was that they sent somebody up from their offices and said that since it had occurred during a performance, I would have to fill out a form for workman's compensation, which said, patient states that she was hit by a flying tulip while performing on the stage.
Now, just a minute, I'll be right with you, Carmen. There are other sources of anger, and discomfort, and that's toe shoes. I should have.
Let's see, toe shoes. We had one pair a week, 48 pairs a year. There's 52 weeks in a year. So if you were smart, you wore something called Duratoe, which is like cement on your feet, but they would last. So I was the Duratoe girl. We also had no tights. We performed bare-legged. and it was pretty bad. Oh, yeah, makeup. I don't know if you know what wax beading is, eyelashes. Really? And we had our little candle, and we had our tablespoon, and we hunked off a piece of this black wax, and you took a toothpick or an orange wood stick, and you carefully did each lash and made a little bead right on top. That lasted from 10 o'clock in the morning till 10:30 at night, and you just added more and more and more layers until you finished. Your face was like cement when you finished the day. One day, somebody came in the room and said, the fire marshal is doing a surprise inspection. Here we are getting ready with our candles and the smell of burning wax, and the fire marshal is coming. Everybody quick put something on, and in comes the fire marshal. The fire marshal was so entranced with our beauty that he let everything go. Now I can tell you, this dressing room was filled with combustibles, lamb's wool chiffon. There was one exit door for this whole dressing room, and it was a monster mess, but we got by with it.
Now Carmen left the theater after a while, and she had a family and did all the things that you know. And she wanted to get a little job, you know, to help out and all that. So what did you become, Carmen?
What else would a skinny ballet dancer become but a New Jersey State certified fire inspector, which I am to this day.
Reason being is that the Rockettes always had a reunion. They were treated royally. And the ballet never did. And when you left the ballet at the music hall, it was like having been perhaps in a war, because you were tired. You had done it in all the years of all those performances. So we all raised our families, but we kept in touch with Christmas cards. And after about, 30 years, 35 years, we said, this is the year we're going to get together. Let's meet in New York. And I put these on the notes, and I said to Anne, I'll give you a call by the end of January after the holidays. About 2 weeks later, came home, picked up the phone, it was Anne, and she said, what's new? So we said, that's it, let's get together, and we went to Sardi's, which was a big deal, 5 of us, 6 of us, because the days when we were at the music hall, we could only afford the automat. So we met at Sardi's, but in the meantime, I called Carmen. Carmen said, you've got to call Janice, because Janice came in before me and then left, and I had started, and I didn't know Janice. And Janice, I called her up and said, we've got to get together. We're going to have a reunion. We've got to start it. And she said, oh, what do we want to do that for? What if I don't like you? Anyhow, we got together, and we all loved each other. She danced in the Alicia Alonso Ballet Company, and I happened to name my daughter Alicia after Alicia Alonso, and this is
Alicia
Maria.
will be very pleased to hear that. Yes, I danced with Alicia Alonso for 3 years before I came to this country. I'm from Cuba. And my first job was the Radio City Music Hall. And I can tell you what that meant to me. To me, that was like a dream. I couldn't believe it. That first performance was something I'll never forget. I had many more wonderful experiences dancing with many wonderful choreographers and other many ballet companies, but Radio City Music Hall was my first job in this country, and I was so proud of that, and I was so thrilled with it, and I'll never forget that experience.
Thank you.